Hi everyone, and welcome to another Sunday live stream. Thank you all for joining me here. While I wait for everyone to join, I'm just going to go over some of the basics. I know many of you are repeat visitors, so you know all the details, but usually I structure the live stream in 3 segments. It's half an hour, so the first 10 minutes I'll cover our latest properties. The second 10 minutes I cover blog posts and other informational content that we post, and then we do our vacation giveaway. And during each segment, when there's a pause or a break in between ideas, I do check the chat to see if there are any questions or interesting comments. So feel free to ask as many questions as you'd like, or hopefully you can all start a conversation and I'll jump in there as well. Okay, and so while I'm waiting for people to join, I'm also going to quickly cover some of the basics of who I am. So my name is Erica Benson. I have a land investing company, so I buy and sell vacant land. You can find my website at gokjcapital.com. And we both buy and sell land, so if you want to sell your property, you can go to our website and click Get My Cash Offer. If you want to buy property, you can click Buy Land to go to our main listing page where you'll see all of our available properties. We do have a map here. It's interactive. Hi, Beth. Thank you for joining. Hope you have a great weekend, and you've had a great weekend. It's almost over now. But yeah, you can zoom in and zoom out to a specific location if you'd like, and then each of the red pins is a property. When you click on it, it'll tell you its status, so if it's on hold or not, and if it is on hold, until when. And this is also, the status is also a link, so you can click on that to get to the property's main listing page. But on top of buying and selling land, I do also like to put out a lot of resources with information for landowners, buyers, and sellers, because when I started this company, I did find that there was very little information specifically related to vacant land. So trying to rectify that, and we do that primarily through our blog. We have over 400 blog posts now. All of them are longer form content, so at least 2,000 words. It's all free, and they go into detail on specific topics, and these topics, there's a whole range. So you can see here the latest blog post is on copper mining in Arizona, which, yes, is related to vacant land because mining occurs on vacant land, and mining has effects for surrounding land parcels, as well as on the parcel where the mining's being done. So even topics like that could seem to be tangentially related to vacant land, we cover. Wide range. And then we also cover some basic information. Let me see if I have a good example here, but we've done things on title searches, abstract of title, legal access easements, some of the fundamentals of land buying, as well as some of these more obscure topics. So if you're interested in learning more about land, you can go to our website and just search for any particular topic, and you will likely find a blog post on that. We do also have some paid resources as well. So we have a few courses, one on land due diligence, one on land investing, and then one on online marketing tips and techniques for people who sell land. And finally, we have a book, 11 True Stories You Need to Know. It's 11 stories of land investing mistakes that I made, but the bulk of the book is actually a thick due diligence checklist. So if you're ever buying land and you really want to know how to do due diligence, that's what this book is for. It covers every item that we discovered could be an issue through the course of over 500 transactions. All right, so it looks like some more people have joined. Hi, Willie. Hi, Peggy. Thank you so much for participating today. I hope you're all having a wonderful weekend. And Willie, I see you're looking for 100 acres or more in southern Utah. So unfortunately, I don't have anything that fits that description at the moment, but you can always subscribe. We actually do text alerts. So if you go to our subscribe button and then click SMS text notifications, you can select a specific state that you're interested in. And when you select that state, you'll receive a text alert whenever we post a new property in that state. You can also get an alert whenever we post a property anywhere. Oh, you are subscribed. Great. Okay. Well, thank you for subscribing. Hopefully we can help you. If not, I'm happy to answer any questions you may have as you go about your land search. And hi, Alicia. Thank you for joining. Okay. So today I did say that I was going to focus on 1031 exchanges. But first I'll cover one property that we posted recently, and then I'll go into the 1031 exchange and what it is and some of the basic information that you should know about it. And of course, if you have any questions, feel free to ask them throughout the course of this live stream. So I posted one property in Gibson County. Let me see. Oh, Willie, you're asking, what is the cheapest state in America to buy property? Well, it really depends on where within a state you're talking about, but Southwest is generally fairly inexpensive. Nevada, Arizona, New Mexico, parts of Utah as well. And there are some areas of Colorado that are still relatively inexpensive. So Southwest, my experience, is one of the least expensive places to buy land. But you can find good deals anywhere. Depends on where in the state you're looking and how you're looking. Like I said, I did post one property in Gibson County this week. It's 1 acre. And just for reference, Gibson County, Montana, the Dakotas. So Willie's asking, Montana or the Dakotas. So I actually haven't bought property yet in Montana or the Dakotas, so I don't have personal experience on pricing there. I would imagine that Montana is now most likely more expensive, though again I don't have personal experience there yet. But from what I've heard, there has been an influx of investment in that state. The Dakotas may be relatively inexpensive, but I'm guessing they won't quite match the prices that you'll see in some of the desert counties in the Southwest. But of course, the Southwest is the desert, so there's a reason why it's inexpensive. But yeah, the more rural, the better, and that's good because rural tends to be less expensive, although, of course, if you're getting really high-value farmland, that can become pricey. So, all right, so the Gibson County property is, it's in the west of Tennessee. It's just to the north of Jackson, if you're familiar with Tennessee towns. And it is off of Route 45 West, and the property is fronted by Route 420. There are some homes along this road, and you can see that there's a fair amount of farmland here as well, and there is a creek just to the north. And the property itself is forested at the moment. This is sort of a residential building lot. It's only 1 acre, so it's a little smaller in size. And it's zoned A1, which allows for single-family homes and mobile homes, but not long-term RV use. Although, as with anything related to building and zoning, we do recommend that you give the county a call to go over their rules and regulations. A1 zoning would also be an agricultural zoning. I'm not sure if they would allow livestock at 1 acre, but they would probably allow things like chickens. And you would need well and septic, but there do appear to be power lines on County Route 420. Now, as of right now, the cash discount price is $9,600. We do, as with all of our properties, also offer an owner financing option, and we try to make those terms very reasonable. So it would be $1 down plus the $299 document fee, and then $199 per month for 72 months. This is at 0% APR, so there's no interest, but you don't get the cash discount price when you purchase with owner financing. There's also no prepayment penalty and no credit check. So we don't actually have an application process for owner financing, all you would do is go to our main listing page and click buy or hold, then click buy to start our automated checkout process. So we try to make it very easy. The only thing is that because we don't have an application process, we also don't allow you to build on or live on the property until the end of the loan term. So that's just one thing to keep in mind. For that reason, we do say it's always better that if you're able to, you purchase with cash. So whether you have that on hand or if you can find a bank that would give you a regular mortgage, that would make it easier for you to be able to do what you would like with the property from the very beginning, and you could save some money by getting the cash discount price. So that is our latest property. We'll probably be posting more in the upcoming weeks, so keep an eye out for that. Hi Giselle, thank you for joining. Welcome. And now, as I did promise, I said that for this live stream, I would cover 1031 exchanges. And actually, everyone, let me know what you think. I was wondering if it may be more beneficial to do a setup like this with the live streams where I cover a particular topic after going over our latest properties rather than just covering our latest blog posts, if that would give you more value. So let me know if you would prefer that format. If you do, so I'm thinking of switching to that format, and if I do, you can always give me comments either right now in the chat or throughout the week on YouTube or through any of my other social media channels, letting me know if there's a particular topic you would be interested in having me cover. All right, so 1031 exchanges. You may already be familiar with these, but if you are not an active real estate investor, you probably aren't. I know I wasn't until I got involved in real estate. But they are a way, you know, when you hear about real estate tycoons paying no taxes, this is one of the methods they use to defer. They don't actually avoid capital gains. You don't actually avoid capital gains taxes through the 1031 exchange, but you do defer them. So this is one method that people who are heavily invested in real estate use to essentially keep deferring and deferring capital gains. So in practice, they don't pay them, or at least they don't pay them for a very long time. The idea being that when you sell your investment property, you're not actually selling it, you're just swapping it for another property. And that's why the IRS allows you to defer those capital gains. 1031 exchanges get their name from the IRS code, section 1031, which allows them. And you can always look up that code if you're interested in reading the full legalese behind it. So because this involves the IRS, the federal government, and deferring taxes, there are some strict rules about how a 1031 exchange works, and I'll cover them now. But for the big three things to keep in mind is, first, the real estate purchased with the proceeds of the sale of your investment property must be like kind. So you're exchanging one property for a similar kind of property. I'll cover what this means in more detail in a second. Fortunately, like kind is a little more lenient than you would think by that term, like kind. It does not mean that if you have a, say, parcel of agricultural land, you have to sell it and buy another parcel of agricultural land. You have some more flexibility. But the property you are both selling and buying must be for business or investment purposes. So this does not work with your primary residence. That's one of the key points to keep in mind here. Another major rule to a 1031 exchange is that it only covers the real estate. So if you're doing a sale, say you have farmland, and when you sell your farmland, you're also selling some of the equipment that you have on there. The taxes on the sale of that equipment will need to be paid at the time of the sale. They cannot be folded into the 1031 exchange and deferred. So it's just for real estate. The other important rule to note is that there is a specific time frame within which the swap must be completed. So you can't sell your property and then wait a year or 2 years and buy another one. The whole point being that this is a swap. It was originally supposed to happen almost simultaneously, but now you do have a little bit of time to both identify and purchase the second property, but not too much time. So you only have 45 days you have 45 days from the date that you sell your investment property to identify the property you're going to purchase. And then you have 180 days to actually acquire it. So there is a strict time frame that this all has to take place in. Those are the main rules, but it is, of course, a little more complicated than just that. So let's get into the nitty-gritty here. When we say, and if you have any questions, let me know while I go through this. When we say like-kind property, again, we don't mean that you need to acquire the exact same type of real estate that you're selling. They have to be assets of a similar nature in the sense that they have to be used for business or investment purposes. But you can sell agricultural land and buy commercial property. You know, you can sell an apartment building and buy vacant land. The land itself does not have to be used for the same purpose as long as it's a business or investment purchase. So you do have a lot of wiggle room with the kinds of properties you're buying and selling. You just cannot apply your primary residence to a 1031 exchange. So you can see here there's a very long list of properties that could be used, that would apply. Unimproved land, improved land, vacant land, commercial properties, rental properties, farms or ranches, resort properties, retail properties, you name it, pretty much anything that is not a primary residence. So yes, vacant land can be bought and sold through a 1031 exchange, or I should say swapped through a 1031 exchange, not bought or sold, as long as the vacant land is for investment purposes. So properties that you are purchasing to develop would actually not be applicable. I'll cover that a little more later. But flips also, so any kind of flips are not eligible. This has to be business or investment property. And business, by business they mean something like a property that you own and lease, or that you're actually running a business out of. It's not, you can't say, well, my business is developing property, so I'm buying this property to develop it for my business. If you're buying it, immediately developing it, and then selling those properties, they would not be eligible for a 1031 exchange. As I did allude to, agricultural land can be swapped through a 1031 exchange, but again, it has to be agricultural land that is not where your primary home is not located. Or if your primary home is on the property, it won't be included in the exchange. So that's just one thing to keep in mind. And also, again, as I alluded to earlier, if there's additional personal property or equipment involved in the sale of the agricultural land, that would not be included in the exchange. So you'll have to pay taxes on the sale of those assets. And other kinds of property that can be swapped through 1031 exchange include vacation home, as long as you can prove that the vacation home is primarily more of an investment property rather than like a primary residence. And there is a 24-month holding period. So again, it can't be, if your idea is flipping properties, that would not be eligible for 1031 exchange. You do have to have owned the property for 24 months. And then specifically when we're talking about vacation homes, you cannot have used the home for your personal use for greater than 14 days or 10% of the number of days that it was rented at fair market rental. So again, you need to be proving that the property was mainly for investment purposes, not personal use. And if you're thinking about Airbnb, so like vacation rentals, a property where you're putting it on Airbnb as a vacation rental, that would be eligible as well, as long as the unit involved in the exchange was rented at fair market rental rates for at least 14 days. And again, you have to have owned it for 24 months. So many property types can be swapped in a 1031 exchange, but there are a few that cannot. I've already alluded to most of them, but as I was saying earlier, properties held primarily for sale, so vacant land that is intended for development. So if you're a developer, you buy vacant land, you plan to develop it as soon as possible and then sell the new inventory, whatever that may be, that would not be eligible. Fix and flips, so if you're someone who buys any type of improved property, but say single family homes, fixes them, and then flips them, those would not be eligible for a 1031 exchange. It has to be, again, it has to be property that's really thought of as an investment and at least medium-term investment. And also primary residences, that's another big no-no. It has to be investment or business related. All right, so that's kind of like the broad overview of 1031 exchanges and what kinds of properties or transactions would be eligible. There's one other big thing to note about a 1031 exchange, and that is that you typically cannot just go out and do it as a regular real estate sale. So it's not like you can sell your property on Zillow and then buy another one on Zillow. They usually have to be done through a registered exchange facilitator. And the facilitator is the person who really makes sure that this is actually a 1031 exchange and a swap, and it complies with the IRS requirements. So if you want to sell your property through a 1031 exchange, you have to know that you're going to do that going in, and you want to identify your facilitator. You're not just going to list it on the market. But the great thing about this is the facilitator is going to handle almost all of the compliance side for you. So you don't necessarily need to worry about falling afoul of the IRS. Excuse me. So one question you may have is, how do you find a facilitator? And if you've never done a 1031 exchange before, the best way to find one is, as is often the case, through word of mouth. So you can speak with attorneys, CPAs, escrow agents, title companies, real estate agents. All of these folks should know facilitators who work in your area. Now the facilitator, excuse me, I'm just getting over a sickness. The facilitator is going to charge a fee, but it's not usually that hefty. According to my latest research, it's probably under $1,000, but that's going to vary based on the actual transaction you're undertaking and where you're located and what kind of service they provide, whether it's the most basic service or whether they're doing a lot more for you. But it should be, the actual fee should be a lot less than your savings in capital gains taxes. So it should be fairly reasonable compared to what you would have to pay right now in capital gains taxes. So that really covers most of it. There are a few other pointers we put in here. One is, what do you do if you have a mortgage? So both the property that you are selling and the property you plan to purchase can have a mortgage on them. There are just a few things to keep in mind. The purchase price of the property or properties that you buy must be equal to or exceed the sales price of the property or properties that you sell. So again, like kind, the value has to be more or less the same. And this is actually another important thing to note. The number of properties doesn't matter. So it's not like if you're only selling one property, you can only buy one property. You could sell 5 properties and then buy just one higher value property. The only thing is that one property cannot be less in total value than those 5 properties you're selling. It can be more, but not less. So that's another thing to keep in mind. And if you're selling a property that has a mortgage on it, then you're required to carry as much debt on your new property as you had on your old one. So that's another thing to keep in mind. So I think those are the basic details of 1031 exchanges. I hope that was helpful. Some of you, I had a request to go over that, but let me know if you like this new format. I'm going to try it out for a little bit, covering specific topics. So if you have any kind of specific topic you would like me to cover, let me know in the chat or DM me through any of the social media channels. All right, and that brings us to the vacation giveaway, which I think is why you are all here. So I know many of you are familiar faces. You know the host spiel, but I'll cover it anyway. What we're giving away with the vacation giveaway is a voucher that's valid for generally a 3-night, but sometimes a 4-night stay in a hotel that our travel partner classifies as luxury grade. The voucher is for a complimentary stay, but you do have to pay the regular taxes associated with the hotel stay. And the way it works is, if you win, I'll send you an email with the full list of locations. There are over 50 of them. There are a number of US locations, and there are also some global locations as well. You do have to pick your location up front. So let me know which one you'd like, and then I'll send you the voucher. When you get the voucher, you have 7 days to redeem it. When you redeem it, you do have to pay the taxes, but you don't have to select your date, your vacation dates. Sorry. Like I said, I'm still getting over a sickness. You have 18 months, I believe, to redeem the voucher. So you have some time to decide when you actually want to do your trip. And every location has a number of participating hotels. You won't be able to see them until you redeem the voucher, but there are a lot of them in every location. The voucher is really designed for a single person or a couple, but there will be a number of hotels that will accept up to 2 children as well. A few other things to keep in mind. There will be some blackout dates, usually major holidays, where you won't be able to use the voucher. And weekend bookings typically come with a small additional fee as well. The last thing to keep in mind is you're only allowed to redeem 1 voucher every 12 months. And you're only allowed to redeem a voucher for 1 location once in your lifetime. So if you won a voucher before, you won't be able to redeem a second one within the same year, but you can give it to a friend or family member as a gift, or if you win, we can give you a $100 hotel savings card instead. So I think that covers all the basics of the vacation giveaway. If you're interested in participating, just say yes in the chat. Everyone will get a number based on when they said yes. So if you're the first person, you're number 1. If you're the second, you're number 2, so on and so on. And then I'll have Google randomly pick a number to see who's the winner. So we'll wait about a minute or so, give everyone a chance to participate. And I hope you all had a great weekend. It's been a little bit cooler here, so we're enjoying the weather. We actually went out and enjoyed our walk today for the first time in a while. So looking forward to the September weather. Looks like we had a lot of participants this week. You know, there was heavy rains out west just a day or so ago, so I hope everyone who's in those locations, it's okay. I heard that some folks over in California at Burning Man are now stuck there. It's too muddy to get out. How interesting. I didn't realize that Ukrainian families were being relocated to the Dakotas. Hmm. All right. So I think probably everyone, it looks like everyone who's going to participate did. So we have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 participants. So I'll go over here and I'll have Google select our winner. And that is number 2, Paul G. It looks like you are our winner. Congratulations. Thank you so much for joining me today. Thank you to everyone who joined today. I say this every time, but I really mean it. I know 6 p.m. on a Sunday evening is it's a important time during the week, and there are a lot of other things you could be doing. So I appreciate you being here with me. And for everyone who didn't win this week, I'll be doing the vacation giveaway, still moving forward on these live streams, so you should have multiple chances to win. And Paul, if you would like your voucher, just send me an email. I'm putting it in the chat, and I'll send you the list of locations so you can select. Everyone else, have a wonderful Labor Day. It is a holiday weekend, so hopefully the temperature is nice where you are and you can enjoy your holiday, spend some time with friends and family. And I hope to see you here next week, same time, same place.